Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a visit to the National African Art Museum in Washington, D.C. And so this is towards the front of the building. Beside of it is a beautiful walking garden that's also part of the Smithsonian. And here is the entrance to the beginning of the museum. I've been here a couple of times, and because I constantly do have changing exhibits. And a fun fact about the Smithsonian, there are technically 3 museums that focus in African American or African people's artwork and culture. One is the Anacostia Museum, which focuses on local Southeast DC African American culture. Then you have the National African American Museum of History and Culture, which is like the crown jewel that everybody wants to go to. And of course, I went there, and a video will be coming up about that later. And then you have the African Art Museum. I think personally, the African Art Museum is my favorite. And don't get me wrong, I'm a very proud African American woman. It's just like the National African American Museum, to me, focuses more on like content and exhibit design, and they do a beautiful job of telling some of the stories of the African American experience. But the African Art Museum focuses more on objects, and I personally just like objects. I am a hoarder, I am a collector of African goods, as many of you are, which is why you're part of my tribe and my village with the DIYs. And so being able to go in and look at the different African objects, carvings, paintings, and even things that are newly done by some African artists is just really more appealing to me. So here in this display case, they have some objects made out of soapstone. And soapstone is a very heavy material if you ever handle it, that you know. And one thing I like about not only the objects themselves, but the way they display it, I think is also give good suggestions for people who are trying to figure out how to showcase their pieces in their own home, of how they can go about it. In addition to the objects themselves, you will also notice in the different exhibits a lot of deep, rich colors on the walls, and I think that really sets off the display pieces. So if you too are also in the project of remodeling, redesigning your home, a lot of people are very scared of color or paint. Like, it's paint, you can paint it back, you can use temporary wallpaper, but if you really want to make a bold choice that kind of makes people wow when they come in, like, consider like jewel tones and bold colors and rich colors and monochromatic design in your decor, and that would really make things stand out. Okay, so the piece that we're about to see now is a wall display full of African gourds and all the design. This really caught my attention. Not that something is really unique about gourds themselves, but I like the way it's displayed. And it gave me kind of like some inspiration of things that can be done with gourds and wall decor and design. So for people who have gourds at home or sitting around, or trying to look for some unique things to do with this, I think this would be amazing to have like a wall, especially if you have high or vaulted ceilings. Being able to incorporate something like this, I think would be like really, really amazing. This piece here is probably one of my favorite pieces in the exhibit. This is a beaded Yoruba crown, and traditionally is something that a king would wear, and it pretty much is supposed to trace his ancestry back to the mythical founder of the original 16 tribes of the Yoruba kingdom. And it's like, it's so detailed, it's so elaborate with these beads, and you guys know I am good for a beaded object. So I think I might, when I get my DIY going again, try to see if I can do a DIY version of this. But I just love the details and the colors of this crown. Look, I know I'm supposed to be here looking at exhibits, and I am, but the print on this wall, if I can get a pattern or wallpaper like this on my wall, that would be so amazing.